You're listening to
The Classroom Collaborative
podcast with your hosts, Dee Dee Wills,
Ed Rock, and Adam Peterson.
Here we go.
We're so glad you're here.
Let's get started. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Classroom Collaborative podcast. I am Adam Peterson.
Hello, I'm Dee Dee Wills.
And we are back another week to chat with you all and with each other. Dee Dee, no guest this week, so it's nice just to have a conversation with you. How are you?
I am so good. I'm really good. We have a little bit of sunshine before snow is supposed to come this weekend.
Ugh. Yeah, we finally hit like 50s and 60s here, so I'm hoping there's no more snow. Like the snow's, there's a little bit around like the edge of our yard, but we were outside yesterday with t-shirts on. It was so nice. I took my students outside this week. I'm so done with it.
Well, sadly in Colorado, sometimes we get snow in May, so we have to pace ourselves. Our disappointment comes and goes, but
I would take that snow for your view though, and the mountains. I think I would take the snow for that.
You take the snow with the mountains. Okay. It allows us to ski longer in the year. That makes sense.
There you go. That is good. Well, I'm still coming off of a high of our conversation last week with Cindy Price. If you guys didn't check out that episode or listen to it yet, go back and just soak in all that Cindy Price has to offer, because when it comes to virtual teaching, no one does it better. And maybe you do. Don't take that the wrong way, teachers, but
we sure loved that conversation.
Oh, it was such a good one. Yeah. So,
you know, and what I loved is that even though we were talking specifically about virtual classroom, really it transfers to any time, whether you're face to face. And she really, talked a lot about building relationships and investing that time, which is something that, sometimes myself, I can be guilty of just jumping in, right? And then like starting and then realizing, wait a minute, we're not ready for this. And then having to backtrack and then being frustrated. So she set it off from the beginning of the year that allowed her, she invested that time and allowed her to teach more. So that was really, really great to hear how she did that.
It was. And it was interesting to hear that like everything I felt like she was saying wasn't so much like you wouldn't picture that she was just a virtual teacher, you know, like you'd picture she was doing this in a classroom every single day. So it was a cool conversation to have.
She's a riot. She's a riot and a gift. So we're really glad that we had her.
Sorry, microphone issues. So yeah, we're going to talk about a virtual tool today, but a tool that a lot of teachers are using virtually in their classrooms, but a tool I think that goes untapped sometime for teacher education.
Right. I had a question in the Facebook group, in my Facebook group that I found this morning. I think it was last night, but I found it this morning. And the question was, what do you tell parents who are at home who want to spell for their kids, right? How do you get them to stop doing that? And I had remembered I'd watched this video by Matt Glover. And first of all, he's gold. He's like solid gold. He's amazing. Pretty much everything I think about writing came from him and Katie Wood-Ray, a couple other people, but he really changed the way I thought about writing. So I remembered that he had some videos on YouTube that were for parents that spoke specifically to this. And so I went ahead and I pointed to that video. Meanwhile, that was this morning, you know, I'm getting dressed, putting on the makeup, listening to the video, and I let one video run into another video, because you know how that happens. But I stayed on his channel, and it was, I mean, every single one of them, I'm like, yes. So, if you're not familiar with Matt Glover, he wrote, many books, and now I'm thinking of books that I love.
I'm trying to think. You're like, I saw you pause. That wasn't a delay in our sound, folks. That was Dee Dee trying to think of the title.
I know. Anyhow,
she will. It'll be in the show notes for sure.
It's amazing. It will change your life, but I can't think of the name of it. It'll come to me. He has some great tips for parents, and I was thinking. It might be a great way, to maybe save some of these videos. You know, you can create on YouTube, you can create your playlists that are private, or you can share with a link, but it might be nice to curate some of those videos, hang on to them so that when you need to send something to a parent, or if you want to preemptively strike, you have these that you can send to them. And it's right from his his mouth. It talks about the developmental stages of writing, why we don't want to do for students things that they can do for themselves, all of the reasons. And it's done in such a nice way, in such a, informed way that, there's really no other way for the parents to, take it, right? So it explains why in great detail. And it's done in a kind way that parents are like, oh, okay, that makes sense. That's why I would not want to do this, because I'm stunting the growth of my child's, writing development. So anyhow, wonderful. So he's one channel that I would recommend. Just put it on play and, hang out there with him for a while. But you could send those links out to parents. And if you are thinking, well, I don't really email parents, I send home a paper newsletter, I don't know. Maybe people don't do that anymore, but maybe they do. But you could create a QR code, which would give them a landing page for that. So they could scan it and watch that video. And I think it would really make the teaching job easier, but it also would give you, if that's not possible, it would give you the words that you could articulate to parents as to why you want them to handle spelling and writing for students in the way that you do.
Right. Well, and I think the good thing about this is, you mentioned you could go down a rabbit hole, no doubt, on YouTube. Oh. I do all the time with videos that I watch. But the cool thing too is YouTube is everywhere, right? Like every child's device most likely has the YouTube or YouTube for Kids app on it. Every parent has it on their phone or their tablet or whatever they're using. It's not going anywhere, right? Like that's what I love about posting stuff there or finding stuff there, because it's not disappearing. And everybody that has, anything to do with Google is YouTube, YouTube is Google. So it's just there, right? And there's so much there. And I know we talked about this morning a little bit, and I said, well, what if we just YouTube search teachers and see what pops up? And there's a lot of amazing content there. Now, you have to be careful because someone's going to pop up with like police and scandal stuff about teachers, but teacher channels is what we want to focus on today. And you mentioned Matt Glover, our good friend.
I have it. Engaging Young Writers. It came.
There's the book. Look at that. Good job.
Okay.
Which I think it's awesome to do. I remember when I was still in the classroom, I would post videos for parents that were private linked videos for when their child was absent. There was a stretch of time one year where I had kids sick like crazy, and I felt like, oh my gosh, I'm playing catch up so much. So I started just recording things that, not everything, but things that I knew parents would have a hard time teaching at home because of the terminology, right? Like our phonics program we used specific terminology with the phonics instruction, and our handwriting program used specific terminology about the names of the lines and the direction of the hand movements that I wanted the kids to get even when they weren't there. So I just used my phone and I recorded straight into the YouTube app, and I did it daily at the end of the day for like 5 minutes. And I said, all right, parents, here's what your child missed today in whatever our lesson was. Make sure you're using this when you're talking about it. Check this out. And I hold a board and show them how to write it or do whatever. And say, there you go. Those are the tips we missed today. Enjoy, and I just created a private link that I would then email to the parents, and it was kind of like they got to hear me teach a simple lesson. Now, I know teachers probably don't have time to do that for everything, but I found it very useful for things that my parents at home, probably because they're not a teacher, didn't know how to teach the way I wanted it to be taught, right? And I think a lot of people would agree nowadays with, with Common Core math and different things that are out there, that's our biggest struggle is parents don't know how to teach it the way that we're trying to teach it in the classroom, right? So that's an idea to use YouTube for your own benefit. But I love YouTube to learn from, like you mentioned, but I also love it because there's so much content to use with students to learn from as well. And it's ridiculous what's out there, right? And I know, don't get me wrong, I love the song and dance videos. Those are great, but I also love videos that have true content that you can use in your classroom. And one of our good friends, Pete Harry, has a channel called Harry Kindergarten Music. Teachers, if you're not using this, you need to be. And I don't want you to think about this as, oh my gosh, another song and dance brain break, because that's not what Pete's stuff is about. So Harry Kindergarten Music on YouTube is brain break, fun, hip hop kind of songs, but every single song is set to a slide deck that has images of everything he's trying to teach. So when he's teaching about, I don't know, how to make 10, right? Like he has 10 frames on there that'll pause. It'll say, all right, how are we making 10? And they'll show a 10 frame with 4 dots in it. And he pauses to give the kids time to think about how many more, right? And
right.
It's all set to this fun music. So his is
you know
one
what,
that
honestly, when you said how to make 10, I heard how to make Tang.
Did you? Sorry.
I did. That's what I heard.
Well, maybe he has a video on that too.
He probably does. Tang, no, I haven't had that since I was 8. Anyhow, yeah, his channel is really, really good. One that I also really like is if you are trying to incorporate some Orton Gillingham kind of instructional practices. I went through the IMSE training. It's a week-long training, indoctrination, boot camp. I mean, it was like intense. I mean, I've been through boot camp, and I'm just telling you, this was intense. It felt very, very familiar.
I'll never forget. I called you when you were taking that training. You're like, I can't let them see that I'm on the phone.
I know. It was, because I had to do it virtually. Originally, I was going to do it face to face because I thought virtually, I couldn't do it. But then, of course, the world shut down, so I did it virtually. But I will say this, the training was amazing. It's just, It's a lot. It's 5 days, all day, of intense, from 7 to like 9 p.m. It felt like, you get like, okay, you have a 10-minute break and you're like, I got to take care of all the things. Anyhow, but what I love is, IMSE has some little short videos that you can watch on their channel that are nice little tips. Some of them are like 5 minutes long, 4 minutes long. There is one that apparently is an hour long on developing a pencil grip.
Hours?
1 hour and 7 minutes. Yeah. No, wait.
1 minute, 7 seconds.
Yeah. Okay. Can we edit that out? Because I don't want to sound bad.
I'm not editing that out.
But yeah.
I was really struggling to think about how they would teach that for an hour.
I know. I was like, wow, wait a minute. No, that's 1 minute and 7 seconds. Sorry, folks. But there's a ton of videos that I think would be really, really helpful. If you're trying to, take it up a notch. Right. Also, I mean, there's those tech videos that we talked about, right? Mm-hmm. So Pocketful of Primary has, I swear, a tech video on everything Google related. Don't you think?
Yeah.
She's covered it all.
Well, she was the first one too. When all I did was search YouTube teachers, and besides an ad that popped up first, hers was the first one that popped up, and it was a video called Top Grading Hacks, How to Save You Time. So, her channel popped up first. And then, she's got, I don't know how many videos she has.
1.5 million.
Yeah,
she does have a lot. But I think her videos they're engaging to look at. She definitely has invested time to make them more than, propping up a phone and right. I mean, she's really invested time to make them engaging and easy to follow. And she does teach an older grade. I think she's 3-4. But pretty much a lot of those things are applicable, to those lower grades as well. So
fourth grade teacher. I just checked out her channel. I don't know how many videos she has. I wish I could see. And I mean, it's a ridiculous amount. So if you're just, that's a rabbit hole you could go down, is her channel for sure.
Yeah. I mean, do it when you're folding. It's a great folding laundry investment of time. And one of the things that I do, because, if I'm watching a video, I go on YouTube for lots of different things, right? To, find books that I want to read, or to watch professional development, or to learn stuff about our trade of technology. And sometimes what happens is you watch something, you're like, that's great. I like that. But you can never find it again. Right. So, you can create your own. I know 99% of the people out there know this, but if you are a DD Wills and you did not know this before I told you this, like I've known this for like a month. you can create a playlist that's private, so you can save those videos. And then what I do is I write down, because sometimes the video is like an hour long, but what you really wanted to hear was at 17 minutes and 22 seconds.
Right.
That's really what you wanted to get to. So I write down that timestamp. I put it on a Post-it note. So that I could go back and rewatch that if I need to. Because sometimes that gold is kind of hard to find in that video. You've got the whole subscribe to me now and, blah, blah, blah. And hey, did you know? I mean, it's like a lot of advertisement kind of stuff, but, you can find a lot of really great stuff. So I usually will put like a timestamp where there was maybe the tricky part, if it's technology, where that tricky part is that I know I'm going to need to watch a few times.
Yep.
I write down that time and it helps me find that faster.
That's a good idea. She has some playlists set up on her page too as well. So if you go to her page or her channel and just click on playlists, she's got them sorted by virtual teaching tips, summer stuff, distance learning. Yeah, she's got a ton.
The girl's been busy.
Yeah, it makes me want to step up my game on my channel a little bit.
Yeah, all of a sudden now I'm feeling a little like I've been lacking.
You know what? I tell people all the time, teachers, I forgot how hard it was to manage a classroom, and I don't even have a full classroom. Like, I haven't put a video on YouTube besides our podcast for so long. I'm teaching virtually with some students through one company. I'm teaching a whole class virtually through another company, and I'm running my own classroom, and I forgot how much time that takes. Like, yeah. I'm not saying I'm nowhere near as busy as classroom teachers right now. Don't get me wrong. I know teachers in a full public school are working their tails off much more than I am, but golly, I forgot how much time it takes to put lessons together and that kind of stuff over these past couple of years of being out. So yeah, my YouTube channel is going to continue. I just haven't had stuff there for a while, but it'll be there. It'll be there.
There's another YouTube channel that I can kind of come into and watch. It's Chris with a K. And the last name, I probably should know how to say it, but it's SZAJNER. So,
Sanjner?
Yeah, he has a boatload of videos, but he spends a lot of time talking about, different platforms. So a lot of Seesaw videos, Jamboard.
Yeah, he's got a lot of Seesaw stuff.
He's got a ton of stuff in there. Really quick videos on how to do, there's Google how-tos, Keynote animations. I guess Keynote's, that's a Mac thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not like a Keynote speaker, right?
No, yeah, Keynote's a program.
Keynote animations, you're up there dancing. Slide deck design. So, but yeah, he's got 60 Seesaw videos, 38 Google how-tos. So it's quite a library of things that you can kind of go through to watch. But, I think his channel has some great tidbits.
Yeah, I've never seen his before. I'm going to be on a rabbit hole there for sure. That's a good one. And now that you mentioned that, like when you say, tips for Seesaw or Google Slides, sometimes it's just the simple act of typing that into the search bar on YouTube, tips for Seesaw. And while a teacher might not have a full blown channel that they're constantly posting to and have a bunch of subscribers, it's going to be easy to find. Right. You might find a kind of a diamond in the rough video there of a teacher who found a hack that they loved and just put it up even though they don't maintain a channel, Right. So that could be kind of cool.
Yeah, Seesaw is constantly getting upgrades. They have their latest upgrade's kind of cool. Now you can lock the image size. You know how like before, if they grabbed the corner, they could change the size of the image for the movable pieces. Yep. Now you can lock those in so that they don't change, which is really great for emergent students because they're always like, making it really big. Right. So that's kind of a nice upgrade. And then multiple links on a page, I believe, has been out for a while, but there's another change and now I can't remember what it was, but, it's like they have a new, like a drawing thing, don't they? Like a presenting? Am I totally making that up? A whiteboard or something? I don't know for sure. Maybe I'm making that up. I don't know.
Sorry.
You've been known to do that kind of stuff.
I do. I'm trying to think of all these Seesaw emails I get, and I'm like, I don't remember what's new and what's not anymore.
I mean, they have been wonderful for, getting things. There's a nice shot of Ozzy. Can you see him there? He's napping.
Augie's sound asleep. I'm surprised you haven't heard him.
He's out.
Augie, he doesn't snore, but he does this thing where he'll take a deep breath. And every time he takes a deep breath, he sounds like someone who just worked like a 20-hour shift. He'll just go, but he's sound asleep. He is. I guess
being a dog.
Sleeping is hard work. I'm so proud. I got to share this. Not that teachers care about this, but so he finished his obedience training, is doing awesome with his tricks. And we were using bells for him to get to go outside. Like he'd ring a bell, tell us he has to go out. He hated the bells. So his trainer brought, it's meant for a classroom. It's from Learning Resources, little buttons you can.
Yes.
And he does it. So we have a button that just says outside, and he'll push that to let us know he needs to go outside. It's my voice. But this morning I was in our laundry room, which is that way, and right over here there's bells on this back door still. And I thought I heard them, and I'm like, did he just ring the bell? I come running. I'm like, did you go outside? And he went outside and did his thing. I'm like, he's learning. Like it's so fun.
I love those learning. I mean, let's just take a left turn here. I love those learning resources. I have the ones that have animal sounds. So it has like a horse sound or like a pig sound.
Oh yeah.
I have more of those than really anybody should. I'm like, why do I have? I don't know. I have a lot of them.
These are recordable, so you can push a button and record your own voice. So his says outside. My sister-in-law has one that she's training her dog. She has 3 of them, different colors. So the purple one says, I want a treat. And the dog pushes it. She recorded a voice saying, I want a treat. So Ruby gets a treat. And I think
say, I want to go to bed.
Right.
So what other YouTube, gems are out there that we can recommend?
So one, I know you mentioned Pocketful of Primary. There's another teacher one that I think is upper grades as well, but it's called the Lettered Classroom. Lettered, the Lettered Classroom.
Okay.
She actually reached out to me years ago and did a highlight video on her channel of my classroom reveal one year because she liked my video. And then, actually when Trish and I went to Ron Clark Academy 3 years ago, I'm standing in line waiting to get in and do the whole thing. And I'm like, I think I know that girl. That's the person right in front of us. And I was like, are you Bridget? And she's like, aren't you Adam?
Oh, how funny.
On YouTube.
That is funny.
Yeah, we met on YouTube and then ended up being in line together at Ron Clark Academy. So the Lettered.
Okay, I wrote that down too.
Yeah, it's a good site to check out, Lettered Classroom.
Cool.
And then one that I'm always, again, a rabbit hole is TED Talks. And there are so many TED Talks in the world of education out there. And the cool part is some are, 5 minutes long, some are 30 minutes. There's just some really cool motivational stuff. One that I really enjoy called Be the Yellow by some guy named Adam Peterson.
Oh my gosh, I've heard of him.
TEDx talk. But no, there things that are if you guys hear my microphone going in and out, I don't know what's going on here. But things that are direct tips that teachers could take back and use, but also then some really cool motivational stuff about what makes a good teacher,
Right.
There's some really neat ones out there on TED channels.
I agree. Every time I go in, I listen to those. I like to listen to the TED Radio Hour on KPBS. It's not I haven't lived in San Diego, you guys, in 20 years. So, well, that's not true.
You got their little jingle down, don't you? 97X.
I know, I'm like KPBS. No, I haven't. Anyhow, public radio.
One of ours is one of our local stations is 98.3, and it's 98.3 WCCQ. So anytime the kids, we have a thermometer now, the kids do a fever check before they go to school, so they don't have to waste time going, because they go with Trisha, and if they didn't, then they'd have to go through the line to get their fever checked at school on the way in. So every morning, if it reads up 98.3, we all shout WCCQ. It's one of those things you never forget, right?
I know, it sticks with you. But yeah, I think TEDx has some great videos, sort of going to the grocery store, like if you're hungry for something, I know you can find it there.
Right.
Sometimes you need motivation. Sometimes you need inspiration. Sometimes, you just need to process something. And there always seems to be a video there that fits that need. So I like that. I like that place.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned radio stuff too. And that's something I'll do. Like there's a lot of YouTube videos that you might not necessarily need to watch. Like I know we put our podcast up on YouTube, right?
Right.
There's some teacher stuff out there too that I don't need to see what they're showing me. So I'll just let YouTube play in the background while I'm working on things. But
right.
I've also noticed too, like if I find a video like that's a lengthy one, like some, discussions can be on YouTube. That's what I'll just turn it on and stick my phone in my pocket while I'm out on a walk with the dog and just listen
right
to a YouTube video without watching it. So
right.
It's one thing I know on at like lunchtime in my classroom when I was still in the classroom, I would just put YouTube, like TED Talks or something up on my smartboard or TV, and I would watch or listen while I'm working during lunch. And it's right. One of those things. There's so much there. It'd be interesting to see exactly I wonder how many videos are on YouTube, like how many total.
I don't know. I heard that they have, did I hear another 500,000 every day is loaded?
I'm going to look right now. That might be right.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff up there that will.
This has nothing to do with what we're talking about
right.
today.
Let's just be honest. You'll never get those days back. But
YouTube is a daily developing company, so it's hard to say the exact amount of videos, but Google says they are over 120 billion now.
Yeah.
Moreover, 200,000 videos are uploading daily by 300 million users. Good golly.
It's a deep dive.
Isn't it interesting to think about too that someone just one day said, I want to put a place up where people can share videos, and that's what it's become.
I can't even imagine what happens behind the scenes.
No.
Anyhow, those are some of our picks. If we think of some after we're done, we'll add them into the show notes. Add them, not add them.
Well, before we go to, you guys know we're always talking about ESGI and our good friends at that company, their YouTube channel. And I just thought of this. You mentioned earlier, Dee Dee, before we started recording, but I was on a training with schools yesterday and talked about it. Dee Dee and I have talked about ESGI a lot, our favorite online progress monitoring tool, but their YouTube channel, ESGI Software, is full of tips, tricks, tutorials, beginner videos, how-tos with their software. So if you're in the boat of being a new ESGI user and you're thinking, oh my gosh, I just need some help, check out their channel. If you're not an ESGI user, you know that's a company, why not? We both love. So head to esgisoftware.com. They helped Dee Dee and I out. They gave us a little promo code, which helps you as well. So if you go to esgisoftware.com, you can start a free trial with no credit card and enter the code PODCAST, PODCAST, and that will save you when you decide to purchase your first year. So it's an amazing company with amazing people that are constantly trying to help teachers.
And I'm glad that you said that. I can't believe I forgot it, but on their channel also they'll run webinars with different presenters, and you can catch the replays on there. I think I have 2 on there, maybe 3. I know you have several. Yeah. So if you're thinking, gosh, I really wish I could go to a conference, but I can't go anywhere because I'm snowed in or I'm quarantined or all of the things, you might be able to get some information from those as well. So. Right.
All right. Good chat. I'll talk about YouTube all day. I love YouTube. Way too much. I love it too much.
YouTube makes my head hurt because it's so big. And there's I know less about that platform than really anything. Well, other than Twitter, Twitter to me is I don't get Twitter. That's because I'm of that age. I don't know, but I do not get Twitter. I'm like, how is that different? Anyhow, well, that's another conversation. We'll be back for that.
Maybe we'll do that one other day.
Maybe. We probably won't because I will have nothing to say. But,
all right.
Hey, thanks you guys for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye. Hey, thanks for listening to the Classroom Collaborative Podcast.
If you are enjoying these episodes, please make sure that you subscribe wherever you are finding them.
And share and rate it so others can find it as well.
We'll see you guys on the next episode. Thanks for listening.
Bye.